All right, hey everyone, I'm David Guttman. As mentioned, OpenClaw contributor. If you use auto-threading in Discord, you're welcome. I also set up AI employees for solopreneurs and founders using OpenClaw. And today, I'll tell you about something I built called Clocky Talky, which I have found to be quite the enabler. So first, OpenClaw clearly has taken over my life. You cannot read those small, well maybe you can, but those numbers are quite small. The top one, that's a little bit over 1,500 messages per day. So this is Discord messages over time in my OpenClaw's Discord server. So 500 messages a day, not too uncommon. I think the important thing is Discord has become my everything app. Whatever I'm doing, that goes through my OpenClaw. And that's because OpenClaw, to me, is not just another AI tool. Often someone will be like, oh, but you could do that in Claude Code or whatever it is. Yes, but my OpenClaw can use Claude Code, but it's weird to say the reverse. I don't read any blog posts anymore without throwing it into Discord for a summary. It orders my lunch every day. It helped us hire a nanny. It does payroll. It's just, I think, beyond what I consider other tools to be. This, I think, is a pretty good example. This is like an end-to-end product exercise that just was delegated to OpenClaw. So what we see here is this is an app. It's called Chaser. Chaser is for freelancers who hate the emotional cost of chasing down invoices, right? They don't like begging for money that they feel like they've earned. And so this is an app that automatically sends out increasingly firm emails to get the follow-up. This is totally live and everything like that. But the way that this happened was me telling OpenClaw, go on Reddit, find some target markets for an app, go research pains, cluster the pains, come up with a concept, create a spec, design it with Claude Design, build it in Codex, and then deploy it to render. And it just did the whole thing. OpenClaw, everything in there all the time, every day. And then I realized when I was driving to archery practice on the weekend, I spent about an hour in the car, and I just realized that this was sort of like this last safe space, right? Because even in bed, there's always another feature, there's another thing that I could build. I could build like an entire new product, right? And so I'd stay up later, it was wrecking my sleep. And I just had this realization that, like, wow, this is like the last little slice of my life where like I'm not feeling like compelled to be productive. So I had to address that. It's like, how do I use OpenClaw in the car? And I'm sure a lot of you have used different voice, AI things. To me, they were all wrong in different ways. I really hate open mic situations. I have no doors on my Jeep, and so the background noise, it constantly thinks I'm saying like thank you or something like that. So it says you're welcome, and then it just messes up the context, and then the agent's dumber forever, and I really don't like that. There's other ways of doing it, but what I wanted was to maintain an existing OpenClaw session and then carry that on. The best I found is like sending voice messages back and forth, like within a thread. But the UI is tiny, it's super annoying. And what I came to was I wanted to build like a walkie-talkie-like interface, so like a huge button to touch to start talking. As soon as I was done, touch the button to stop talking. I added hold music, which I know is not a walkie-talkie thing, but to me, makes me unreasonably happy. I have 13 different genres. I've added audio filters to make it a little crackly and squash the frequencies, and probably spent way too much time on that. But the point is, I liked the idea of like an audio-based loading, indicator, and it's awesome. Like it uses my full model. Like it's not trying to optimize for latency, so it's actually intelligent. It uses existing OpenClaw sessions, so it's within a real context, and it's awesome. So I'm going to show you the demo even though you've all,
Software.
there's no I. Okay. Awesome old music. So the interesting part is not that it's like responding. It's just that there's a product shape that I find very comfortable while driving, and it plugs into my existing sessions, and so it winds up working really, really well for me. There's just like a really big trade-off though between wanting intelligence and wanting to use your entire OpenClaw's brain and latency. And so this is really my attempt to do that, is just you're driving, be okay with the latency because you get intelligence. So just have longer terms on my side. So I will say more, and then I'll wait, and then it will have a real answer back that I can listen to when I'm driving. So it's fine if it goes on for a while. So this is what it looks like. So as I said, I think it's really important that it's real work, real sessions. Like a version of this talk was done, entirely in the car, like going back and forth and having it recorded, and then, creating the slides after. And I think one of the interesting things about building this is, one, yes, I'm the user because I'm using the app. But for other people to use this, their OpenClaw has to install it and run it, which means that agents are becoming the users of products that we create and creating those installation instructions. So if you go to clockytalky.app, there's a little button that's like copy, the install, paste this to your agent to install it. Getting that installation instructions and getting the way that shape works and the way that the skill works for the agent is becoming increasingly important if you're going to be building things like this, and that's really cool. The second thing that is a little technical and nerdy is that agents behave a lot more like people in terms of the equipment that they're using. What I mean by that is that this app, the way that it talks to my OpenClaw or another OpenClaw, is actually using peer-to-peer. It's much closer to the way that you were to use that's what Discord voice channels are based on, a lot of, Zoom, Google Meet, things like that. That peer-to-peer technology works really well because when you're on a video call or something like that, you're not setting up a publicly accessible server. Most of the time, people's OpenClaws similarly are not on a public server with a web server or something that's accessible. It behaves a lot more to like a laptop that's in an office or a home environment. And so WebRTC, hugely underrated right now. At least I am going to be constantly building a lot more on top of that. And that is it. I hope, if you want to really achieve full work-life imbalance, you too will install Clocky Talky. And then, if you want to talk to me, just, hit me up on X or whatever, or talk to me here. Thank you.